Coming up, we're going to give you a preview of Bigfire. A preview of Bigfire that Rhino was not included for, just me, unfortunately. And that's because we still haven't been able to get Rhino on Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure because the line is too long, it continually storms, and it doesn't open until midday. But we'll talk about that in just a second. From the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida, this is the Universal edition of The Diz Unplugged. This is episode 223 of the Diz Unplugged Universal Edition. The Diz Unplugged Universal Edition is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel, experts at helping you plan the perfect Universal vacation. Visit them on the web at www.dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. The Diz Unplugged Universal Edition is also brought to you by DizBoards.com. If you're looking for even more information to help you plan your Universal Orlando vacation, head over to DizBoards.com and join the discussion today. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of the Diz Unplugged Universal Edition. I am your host, Craig Williams. Today, I'm joined alongside by my co-host, Ryan the Rhino Clavin.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. It's you know what? This is my house, so you are welcome for being in my house.
The people who are listening don't know it's not your house.
No, it's not my house. This is not
my house.
It's not my house.
The my gold.
So, yeah, no, it's absolutely not. So, we have a great little video to show you, and in just a little bit from when I attended a preview of Bigfire, which, of course, as you all know, the formula for success at Bigfire is big burgers and Big Fire.
Well, unless I'm there, there's no Big Happy.
Oh, well, there was Big Happy while I was there without you. There was guaranteed success with a Big Fire, Big Burger, Big Happy.
I followed along the photos. I would not have mistaken the marshmallow thing for onion when in person.
You mean the baked Alaska?
Yeah. I saw a picture you posted of it on the Diz Twitter, on the Universal Twitter, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm a complete moron.
Yeah, I mean, I will give you the photos that they released before. It was a weird angle,
yeah,
and so I understood why you thought that way. But it was definitely baked Alaska, and it was a cool preview. I will say my biggest takeaway from it, and I think I talk about it in the video. I don't remember. We basically they were like, okay, the event starts at 6:30, and you have till 8:30. And I think by the time we were in the building and the actual event began, after like words and concessions, it was like 7:15. So I had to then shoot every single food item. I had to shoot the entire restaurant, take photos of videos, put out social media, and then also I wanted to attempt to try at least one bite of everything that they offered, plus cocktails as well too.
I almost imagine like a Homer Simpson sort of conveyor belt, and your mouth is just like, oh.
That would have been a lot more helpful. Instead, I had to do all of this. Like it was like I was just bouncing around like crazy. My friends were watching me just do it all in the moment, just laughing at how ridiculous I looked sitting at a table for one all by myself, and just constantly shoveling food in my mouth. And it was so hot in there. I was sweating buckets.
Did they not have the air conditioner on?
I think they did. I think it was just I was running around so much, and then sometimes if it's
do they have the big fire going?
The big fire is going, and if you don't remember, the whole thing with big fire is they smoke a lot of their food with 4 different types of woods, so it all gives it a different smokier feel with it. And the big fire was going, and I stood and watched the flames of the big fire, the grill that they had, and it was hot. It was hot. I will say though, the restaurant was not nearly as open concept as I thought it was going to be. Very much like NBC, where there was a giant open air kitchen right in the middle. It is not that, and you'll see it in just a couple minutes here when we get to that. But it's hopefully from what I'm hearing, Bigfire will be opening towards the end of June. Uni.
Well, I would like to go, since this is the first media event since I've worked here, there was not a second invitation.
Yes. So we did run into that issue with it, and I can't wait to go back with you, and we pay our own money on it, and we decide how amazing Bigfire is or isn't. But the preview at least left me big happy. I will say that much. But it's the thing that took me back by surprise is it's Disney when I can't remember what it was. I think it was Jock Lindsay's when they introduced their special Knob Creek that was made just for them. Well, I like Knob Creek. I'm not a huge fan of Knob Creek, but I am a huge fan of Woodford Reserve. And Universal went and took it to the next level, and they got
the fancy bourbon.
Well, they got Woodford Reserve to make their own special Bigfire blend that's available.
Is it smoky?
I did not try. So that's the one thing I will say.
Oh.
I forgot in all of my time running around.
You didn't get the...
I got the old fashioned that they made out of it.
Okay.
And the old fashioned that was made out of it was delicious, but I forgot to ask for just a plain pour of it. And if you know me and you know me well, I drink good bourbon and good scotch. I just drink it neat. I don't want any ice. I don't add water like that. If it's at that, like if it's Woodford level, and even with Knob Creek and Maker's Mark still I don't like Maker's Mark as much neat, but definitely like Woodford and Knob Creek, I can drink that straight up, and then good scotch, not blended crap. But and like so that's how I actually prefer it. But I completely forgot to ask to have a sample like that, and I would have got it. So we'll make sure to do that when we get there. But I loved that, and there was a specialty beer that was made for them, so they're going out. Their specialty drinks, I will say, they are not that they're all very thoughtful and creative. They are very thoughtful and creative.
Are they the only ones at CityWalk that have their own beer? Then their own specific beer made?
No,
just
NBC
has their own.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We're gonna get off of that. I'm gonna show you my preview of Bigfire here, and then we will be back. Hello everyone, it is Craig here. I am in Universal CityWalk, standing right out front of Bigfire, because tonight I am going inside for a preview. So you might remember Bigfire from the episode that we already did on it, on the Universal edition, of course, where we concluded that Bigfire equals Big Burgers and Big Happy, but now I'm going to see if it actually is Big Happy. I mean, not as a review, just going to check it out, and of course, I'll share my thoughts and whips and little insights as I can. But yeah, this is the first thing I'm doing over the course of a couple days here at a media event at Universal. So I'm excited about this one. I am hungry, and I can't wait to see what's in store at Bigfire. Finally settled down after running all around the restaurant, photographing and taking video of every spot that I can, so I'm going to enjoy the classic. It is a classic old-fashioned with the Woodfire Select Barrel Reserve, and I know I look sweaty, so you're probably assuming that I've already had a couple of these, but I actually haven't. So it's very hot in here, and I have not stopped moving, but it's really nice. It's really refreshing. Of course, not a review. None of this is a review. It's just me trying it, but I need to come back and just try out their Woodford here, their Select Barrel just by itself. I'm not sure if I'll be able to tonight, but I love Woodford just straight up, not on the rocks, not anything else, not with water in there. So I really, really want to try it and see what it's like. But I also have some food in front of me too, and one of the items is filet mignon. To be fancy. I'm just going to shove it all in my mouth right at once. That was just perfect filet. No fat. Not huge on flavor like filet, but just tender. Oh, delicious. And eat it with pepper. Stem was still on there. Okay. And I got a little bit of sides and stuff with it, like cauliflower. I'm going to put down my phone, though. I'm going to go find more. I'm continuing my food conquest. And the next thing I'm going to have, I want to say it's the bison burger, which is one of their signature dishes here. The bison burger said it was just cheese and a tomato, and that's all that's on this. But it also might be a lamb burger. Oddly enough, though, the lamb burger is not on the menu from what I could see from the menu. Other one, I think, is the lamb burger. We'll figure it out, one step at a time. Regardless, I'm going to eat it. That's nice. Yeah, I think this is the bison. At least if it's not bison, it doesn't taste like lamb. I know I said that down, but of course I'm moving on to the next one. Oh man, which again, I think this one's more lamby in flavor. Not flavor, looks. I'm not sure what it is, but it's overcooked. So we're just gonna move past that and move on. To chili. Another one of their signature dishes here. Because nothing is better than chili in Florida temperatures. Oh, it's nice though. I like it. Slightly spicy up front. Spice stays actually for a little while too. Served with this little cute cornbread. Of course, oops, almost spilled on me. Of course, all these are like little sampler sizes. They'll be full-size portions when you get them when you actually come here. So, again, not a review. Just me shoving my face. Next round of food. Still being a nice little fatty here. Move on to the lamb chop. If you've seen me on Disney Cruise Line on Embarkation Day, you know I love lamb. That makes me so happy. And you know what's a good chaser for lamb? Potato salad. Everyone loves lamb and potato salad. Solid potato salad, actually. So, I thought it might be a little warm, but it wasn't. So that's good. But you know what screams Craig Williams? Trout dip. And I'm about to have it, if I can put it on this piece of bread here. I know. Awesome video. Here we go, trout dip.
Do you want me to come review the trout dip?
The crab dip? Trout? Oh yeah, come on. It's not a review. We didn't pay to be here. It's Carly, everyone. You remember her from the bathroom of Galaxy's Edge. Not in the bathroom.
Okay. It was my fireplace. We have an old fireplace. He won't let me live this down. I swear. I was not reporting from the toilet. Though I have done that. But this was not that time. Oh, trout dip? Did you have any?
I just had some.
Yeah, what
mixed
do you
with potato salad.
Oh, no. The trout dip is very good.
It's not my first trout dip. It won't be my last trout dip.
So you don't like it?
No.
That sounds like Craig for you don't like it.
No, we don't. This is a media event. We don't review it. We'll come back and review it.
Oh, you don't have opinions. Okay. It is trout dip.
There we go. Heard it from Carly herself.
Good to see you guys. I'll
Bye.
see you again in my home bathroom.
You thought I was done with trout? How dare you think I was done with trout? Now I have actual trout. It had a fancy name. It was like brook trout or something. I don't know. That might not be a fancy name. Oh no. The skin is still on, so I'm trying to peel it off the skin. Here we go. Okay. Oh no.
I'm still in the same building. It's a one-bedroom. Oh. Yeah, so I just got to
I really like trout. I like trout better when it's cooked right, not when it's in a dip. Can't say I'm a fan of trout dip, but I also got the ribeye. And I heard that the ribeye is better than the fillet. And generally, I like ribeye better than fillet. So maybe I'll like this better. I spilled on my pants. The ribeye, if I was going to come back here and get a steak, I'll just say, I'm going to lean more towards the filet right now. But that doesn't mean I can't become a ribeye person here. Maybe it's just that I make ribeye too well at home. So. And now, what I am pumped for, pork belly mac and cheese.
Just be like, because once they find out that you have...
It's cheesy.
So just amazing.
The pork belly is crispy. It's essentially bacon mac and cheese. I'm sweating more and more. I have got to slow down. But there's still more food to be had. Next thing I'm moving on to drink is the rosemary salty dog. It is vodka, grapefruit juice, and sea salt. Rosemary. Wow. It is a very refreshing drink. It's more balanced once you add the salt in. The grapefruit juice makes it super tart, but then the rosemary also adds in that earthiness. It's got a smokiness to it. Very interesting drink. So now I'm going to eat the barbecue shrimp, served with like corn and coida and cornbread. Yeah. I think I'm about fooded out. I've hit my limit. Dessert. I now have a disgusting combination of food in front of me. I have a fried green tomato that was just sitting kind of close to the desserts. It was with the salads, so I just forgot about it earlier. But I had to try the fried green tomato. Oh man, I really cannot cut with my left hand. Okay. Here we go.
Ladies and little kids.
Next up, s'more. I can't wait to come here and make my own s'more. Does not taste good after fried green tomato though. Finally, the bourbon, like, I think they said it was a cake. It's in a skillet, but it's basically like a big cookie. Bourbon. Ice cream. You can taste the bourbon. And I love bourbon. That's a good cake. If you don't like alcohol though, stay away. I'm going to try 2 more drinks now. The first is a beer that's made exclusively for Bigfire. It is a smoked amber, and it is, I mean, it looks like an amber, but it doesn't taste like your average amber. It actually is very, 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 it's very smoky. I mean, I know it's in the name, so what do you expect from it? But like, it really kind of takes you off guard if you weren't expecting it. It's nice. It's very unique. It's not going to be for everyone, though. I think you kind of have to appreciate a little bit different drinks. The next one that I'm having is I forget the name. I think it's smoked jerky. Essentially, it's a Knob Creek smoked bourbon, and then it's topped with a piece of beef jerky, an orange, cherry. We're wrapping up service here, so I apologize there. Oh no, I'm not sure what's happening actually, but it's that. Before they serve it to you, the glass they burn a piece of maple and they light it on fire, and then they let the smoke come up into the glass to help fill the aromatics of the glass, and then they put in the ice cube and they pour in your drink, and they put a stamp on it that marks it as Bigfire. It's a really cool drink. And it's like the Ron Swanson of drinks. It's like maple, bourbon. It's sweet, but not overly sweet. It's meaty. This could be my go-to drink in CityWalk. Like, really. I might just come back here on random occasions and get this drink. I just wish I could review it right now, but I think I might be done. There might be one or two more things, but don't be surprised if I wrap up. But don't be surprised if I keep going. Who knows? I am almost done with my marathon. I told you I may or may not be done. I'm almost done. So the next drink I'm going to have, again, I'm only doing sips of this. Don't think I'm finishing all these. So this is the white old fashioned. This is actually black cherry infused vodka, and it is served with a fig that is also smoked. I know it says vodka. It's basically, maybe I got it wrong. Maybe it's not vodka. It might be gin. It's very either gin or vodka. Not vodka, but it almost tastes like gin. Very heavy on that, but the cherry kind of sticks through, and fig adds a little bit to it. It's an intriguing drink. One that I'll probably try again, but I'm also going to have a little bit of dessert here. One of the three desserts. You saw me have the bourbon chocolate cookie cake thing. You saw me have the s'more. Now I'm having a baked apple pie with ice cream. Sorry the camera's all over the place. I'm here working alone, baby. Takes me back to home. Even though I don't think my mom ever made apple pie while I was growing up, but it's tasty. Looking forward to taste it in its real presentation. So I think I've had at least one bite of everything now, except the kale salad that they're offering and maybe a beet salad. Who needs salads? But that gives you an idea of the things that I've sampled here. Again, we'll be back once it opens officially to review it, but I'll stew it over. Think about any final thoughts. I'll be back with you. Well, you might have noticed that there wasn't really an ending to that, and that's because I forgot to record one. So here's the ending. Big fire, big happy. Mm-hmm. Big times.
Big times now. Huh?
Big fire, big times, big happy. All of that. Okay, so we're going to end the show like we try to do with fun question time. So we've got two questions for you here. Y'all stepped it up amazingly after I yelled at you for not submitting questions. We got a ton of questions, enough that I think we'll actually be able to do a question and answer show here. Probably we're going to hopefully do Hagrid's next week. And then so probably maybe the week after that, we'll actually do a full devoted question and answer episode. But keep submitting your questions in the comments, and we might answer yours next week. So keep up with that. Still no theme songs or anything. We've gotten 4 submissions for theme songs for the Jean Reno podcast, and 1 for the Becker, but none for this show. So we're being serious. If you want to, you can make whatever theme music you want for it. The intro, the outro, any weird, like going into these question and answers, make it for us. We'll play them. We absolutely will. So it doesn't matter if you think you're not talented. I don't think I'm talented. Some people say I am. I don't think Rhino's talented, but he probably believes he is. Wait.
It's a double. You're
Wait,
double.
No, you don't think you're talented. I think you are. There we go. We got there. But come on, do it. Do it. Submit us questions and give us theme music. We want it. So, okay, first question comes from Matthew. I believe Matthew might be either French or French Canadian, just based on spelling.
It's from Deborah.
Okay. Yeah. So Matthew says, I plan on going to Universal for at least 2 days on my next Disney trip. I was wondering if I should stay on site for 2 nights or just shuttle from Disney. And if staying on site, what is the best place to stay with an 8-year-old and maximize our experience? You guys are the best. I agree with that, Matthew. We can
are
move
the
on.
best. Oh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's move on. We don't need to answer the question. We can answer the question. So stay on site
Matthew.
for 2 nights.
2 nights?
Or just transfer over on those 2 days from Disney.
I mean, it's hard. That's a question where it's like, I do think the resorts are very nice at Universal. I don't knock them at all. Honestly, I think there isn't anything that Disney has that's comparable to Cabana Bay. So I think if you're looking for something that's different than any Disney resort you're staying at, I think that one would be one.
I will disagree with that, but I agree with you.
Wait a minute. You don't like Cabana? You don't?
I do. Okay, so I like Cabana Bay. I think that's still my most recommended, but we're talking he's doing at least 2 days at Universal. So let's just say not more than 2 days. Let's just say only 2 days. Matthew's doing 2 days with an 8-year-old. So we're talking about staying on site for 2 nights or shuttling over from Disney. The first thing I'll say is if you're only doing those 2 days, 2 park days, you technically can get away with only 1 night at Universal. And the way to do that, and the reason I say that is because the first thing you said right after that is maximize our experience. So you say maximize, I think Express Pass. That's the first thing you have to look at.
That's a good point.
So you're either going to stay at Portofino, Hard Rock, or Royal Pacific with an 8-year-old. Regardless of boy or girl, I think 8-year-old maybe right now the way I'm leaning with the hotels, I'd say Hard Rock. Feel like it's a little bit, maybe that ventures more into the teen territory.
Is she just saying 2 in the party period?
Matthew?
Sorry.
I mean, I don't know that. Sorry. I guess I shouldn't even say it that way, but I don't know. It's just Matthew said Matthew and an 8-year-old.
Well, because I was thinking they had the themed suites at not
Royal
Pacific. Yeah, sorry. The P was on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah.
Gross.
No, I do agree that you do have like the theme suites with the Jurassic World.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't know how many people. If it's just the 2 of them, why do that?
Yeah,
but, if you've got a big group, maybe.
Yeah.
But
no, I agree with that. I think I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards Hard Rock with an 8-year-old. I feel like maybe
nice and close.
Yeah, it's very close, and that's a good way to maximize. And then some teenagers, I feel like, while they might appreciate the musicians that are shown off around the Hard Rock Hotel, I feel like some of them might think like, it's a little bit cheesy with some of the stylings. Where an 8-year-old, I feel like that's what they look up to be, maybe in the future. I don't know.
I don't think
I was a weird
even
kid.
Really knew about music very much when I was 8 years old, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know. I struggle with that.
1993, my music was the Power Rangers soundtrack.
Good stuff.
Wasn't real music.
I don't know. I feel like Hard Rock Hotel is so frantic. It's better for an 8-year-old.
I think they'll like the pool.
Yeah, and that's if you even have time to use it.
That's
to
another
maximize
point.
it.
Yeah,
yeah. But so there's a lot of. We technically need about 13 follow-up questions to your first question.
I just think going back and forth with an 8-year-old though might be difficult for you. Having the hotel right there will help you maximize the day, I think, as opposed to going back and forth.
It's even though like we even sell tickets that shuttle you back and forth from Disney, I say just do the stay. Even if it's just for 1 night, you stay at one of those 3 hotels that we just said. You get the Express Pass, and the Express Pass can be used if you're doing the park for 2 days, as long as you're going over, checking in, and then going to the park. You have Express all that day, and then you have it on the day you leave. So you get that. If you want to stay the extra night, then you have time to like actually check out restaurants at CityWalk or enjoy the hotel a little bit more. But regardless, you're just. You don't need the Express for 2 days, but if you want to maximize use the Express and stay on site and stay at the Hard Rock, which is the closest, and I feel like best for that age. But again, I have no experience with it. I don't have an 8-year-old.
I don't want one.
You're gonna get one. I know Instant Family is your favorite movie.
I do like Instant Family.
You love Mark Wahlberg and the director of Daddy's Home too.
That is not who directed the movie.
Absolutely is.
Oh my goodness,
1,000%. Yeah, sit on that. Sit on
I
that.
don't want to.
You're going to. Okay, our next question, ironically enough, I think also comes from a Matthew, but this one not French Canadian. Not that Matthew's French Canadian.
Matthew.
Yep. I literally chose another question from another Matthew. And this Matthew says, non-French Canadian Matthew says, do you think Toon Lagoon should be rethemed or will it stay the same and any new Toon rides will go elsewhere? E.g., Secret Life of Pets, How to Train Your Dragon, Kung Fu Panda, Skadoosh.
I think it's one of those areas where, like, yes, I like the classic cartoons. I would like it if they rethemed it but kept, like, the Popeye stuff. And maybe they rethemed it, but they didn't change Ripsaw Falls. Like, it was still that attraction, I guess, or some similarity of it. Because I've never been on a flume ride that shoots you out like that. You know, I mean, yes, I don't go on it. I've been on it, but like twice, but actually maybe only once. But I liked it. You know, it's one of those where I would hate to see that go, but also I watched Popeye a lot growing up, so I would be sad to see that kind of part of it go.
Oh, I loved Popeye. I actually loved, I loved Rocky and Bullwinkle, Dudley Do-Right. Like, I love all of those cartoons. And I agree with you. I don't want to see Popeye and Bluto's Bilge barges go away. I don't want to see Ripsaw Falls go away. While I don't do them often because I don't want to sit in my car soaking wet and drive all the way back home, just because I don't do them often. When I am staying on site, I like to take advantage and go over when I know I can just run back to the hotel and change and such. Or if it's already pouring and I'm going to get wet anyways, like, why not? I love those rides. I think they're both really, really awesome. But it's been over, I want to say, the past year. I used to be an adamant defender of Toon Lagoon, saying I do love classic Saturday morning cartoons, and that's the whole thing with it. It's all these cartoons that on Saturdays they came to life.
It's not a thing anymore, though.
Yeah, it's not a thing anymore, and on top of that, the land is starting to show its age. I mean, the biggest two offenders of the biggest two offenders of Islands of the Adventure feeling dated right now is Toon Lagoon, and even though I love the attractions in Marvel Superhero Island, that area also feels very
90s.
Yeah,
like
90s and Six Flag-ish.
Yeah. Six Flags, 100%. Yeah. I mean, it's sad to say that about Marvel too, because Spider-Man, I think, is probably the greatest theme park attraction ever. But it's just kind of like the exterior needs some work here. But Toon Lagoon for me is like, if they want to remain, Universal is all about being like, we have the most relevant stuff right now. It's like what you said. It shows its age, and they've got properties out there now that they own, DreamWorks, and they have the Illumination Studios that aren't being represented very well in the park.
Yeah, but so for me, I feel like Popeye and Bluto's, you can switch that off with a different IP, and that to me still works a little bit, although I care about Popeye more than I do Dudley Do-Right. However, Dudley Do-Right's Ripsaw Falls, I feel like I actually love that attraction, not just for the ride itself and how fast-paced it is, how wet you get, how intense it is. I actually think that Dudley Do-Right and that whole story fits in very well in that, too. And while I'm sure they could come up and retheme that if they wanted to me, though, it's a good ride that fits the story that they run with. It just all works so well. And the team members there, I don't...
Dudley Do-Right Canadian?
Yes. They're all Mounties, and all the team members
right
are Mounties.
Now. The first Matthew, it's just some sort of conspiracy today.
It is. I picked well. It would be very hard for me to come up with something that could replace that.
How about based on the live action property starring Brendan Fraser?
Okay, we're gonna move on. But in all seriousness, no, that fits well. The rest of Toon Lagoon, I really hate saying it because I defended it for so long, but every time I walk through there now,
I don't do anything.
I don't do anything, and sometimes I walk through there, and we talk about how heavily themed areas of Universal are, how beautiful the Lost Continent is, despite the fact there's nothing great in there. Even Port of Entry at Islands of Adventure, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Jurassic Park is going through a total transformation right now that's going to be amazing to see the finish of that. And then not even going over to Universal Studios Florida, but some of the areas in there. And then you have Toon Lagoon and like I said, the exteriors of Marvel that just
feels flat.
It feels flat and it feels cheap, and
it feels like a roadside attraction that's trying to flash you to be like, look at this, look at this, look at this, instead of just being like, you're here and you want that full experience, you know.
And again, the rides in Marvel and the rides in Toon Lagoon are incredible. It's just they are really great rides stuck in this areas that have really bad exteriors that don't fit in with this Universal that's happening now. And it's no doubt that definitely Toon Lagoon needs to change and revamp. Marvel, I think the exteriors need revamped. It needs to be fresh. It needs to be new. It needs to be different. But I don't know how much they're allowed to change with all of the contract issues and stuff. But it's really I can't defend Toon Lagoon anymore. It needs to change up. So regardless of what goes in, whether it is Secret Life of Pets, whatever, it is time for a change. I just hope they don't change the rides that are there, because they are really, really great. But I think that's it. Okay. So thank you, Matthews.
Matthews.
Thews. They're gonna shorten their names to Thew. That's one of my favorite jokes from SNL.
What?
Is it time? Okay, so it's our time we have our one last segment of the show where we talk for 2 minutes about something random, completely off topic to all things Universal Orlando. So Topher Grace was hosting the show, and he did one of the audience Q&As where they plant the cast members in the first couple rows and have them ask questions to the host. And so I believe it was Jason Sudeikis was sitting down in the audience and asked him, like, so your name, and I'm going to butcher this. Like, I'm not saying this verbatim. I'm just giving the gist of it. But it's like, so I hear your name's, you're Christopher, right? And he's like, yeah, actually it's Christopher. And I shortened it to Topher. And he's like, and he gets like kind of offended like this. I was like, oh, that's okay. So my name's Matthew. Were you saying I can just shorten it to Thew? And I'm like, oh, it's not.
I didn't
really
realize Topher Grace's name is Christopher.
Yeah, his name's Christopher, and he shortened it to Topher. He just lobbed off the Chris.
That guy is every bit the type of person he is in real life, isn't he? Just a jerk.
I don't think that. I listen to his podcast, and it is slightly entertaining, but
maybe he's calmed down. I don't know. I hear he's just got a reputation for not being a very pleasant person.
We'll talk more. I don't want to ruin.
I'm not going to bad. Oh yeah, like Universal, the Diz Unplugged Universal Edition is going to ruin Topher Grace's career. And if this gets to Topher, I loved your work in Spider-Man 3. I am being facetious. I did not, but that wasn't your fault.
So what movie did you enjoy his work in?
What's that one that was based on Bye Bye Birdie? Win a Date with Tad Hamilton.
That was a big inside joke in college with my group of friends. One person had a car with a DVD player in there, and
was it always Win a Date with?
Maybe it wasn't even in the car. Maybe it was just a copy of Win a Date with Tad Hamilton was always in the car, but it was Win a Date with Tad Hamilton. Never watched it. Never once.
Who's the other guy? Is it Timothy Olyphant? It's not, right?
It's Josh Duhamel.
That's it. Yeah. I knew it's usually one or the other. Those two, guys. They need to play brothers in a movie.
No, that would just blow too many people's minds. But see, I thought you were gonna say that your favorite Topher Grace movie was the one where he was the youth pastor and the kid fell in the ice. That just came out.
Oh my god! Yeah, with the girl from This Is Us, and then the strong man from the Marvel shows.
Yeah.
Luke Cage.
Yeah. I got so sick of seeing those previews in theaters. Like,
it was literally the same preview, and it was like, look, and it's it's one of those movies when at the end it's like, look into renting out your theater for Easter.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't think so. And
Yeah.
it's just one of those, like, I don't mind if religious undertones in a movie, but it was like, oh, we're going to beat you in the head with this.
Oh yeah, no. Like the first time I saw it, I was like, I have not seen the movie. The first time I saw the trailer, I was like, yep, that's coming out Easter. And then of course,
Yeah,
like you said, it's like
yeah.
Easter. And I'm like, yep, I knew that.
And then we knew it for about a year.
Yeah, and that is directly. And then the first time, like I saw it maybe like 10 times at that point. Then finally go see a movie with Kylie where it plays, and she's like getting like slightly emotional because not because of maybe the movie per se, but it's about a boy who almost dies or something, and that actually. My wife did not fall through ice, but she did have a near-death experience.
Yeah.
So I think she kind of got it emotional from that. And I'm just looking over at her, and I was just sitting there laughing. Not at her. Like, I'm laughing at the trailer, and she's, like, getting kind of emotional. And I'm, like, trying to fight back. Like, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing because I'm so sick of seeing.
And the trailer is just, like, the problem with that is, like, those trailers for, like, that type of a movie is always the same type of trailer where it always starts out this very, like, whatever way, but then by the end, like, there is a full-on chorus of angelic voices singing by the end of it, and you're like, well, I really hope this doesn't go the other way and something bad happens. But it's funny because we go to the movies often, and we'll see that all the time, especially if it's at a theater that wants you to rent out the theater. And it's funny because then I'll talk to my mom, and she'll be like, have you heard about it? She'll say whatever the movie is, and I'm like, Mom, come on. Because I forget what I was going to see. And she's like, oh, you didn't want to see The Incredible or whatever it was called? And I was like, sweet Lord. Mom, I'm like, no. I feel like I've seen it because I've seen the preview so many times.
You're talking
now.
about the Bryan Cranston movie, aren't you?
Oh, it was. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what The Incredible was.
Yeah.
I get confused because then there was that movie, The Impossible, that was about which I loved.
About the Impossible Burger?
No, I wish. It was Ewan McGregor and it was about the tidal wave. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that movie's fantastic if
Yeah.
you haven't seen it.
But you have to see Topher Grace and Black Klansman. I know you still haven't watched it yet, but...
Isn't there a movie where he's like in love with his sister or some weird incestuous thing? Like he did, like is that David Duchovny?
Yeah, they did that.
The Secret. They were both in The Secret together, weren't they?
They did. Yeah, that was an episode of How Did This Get Made?
Okay, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why
It
I'm
was-
like, I can't think of anything.
I think that was the one where David Duchovny is.
He's in love with the wife dies and gets reincarnated in the sister's
In the
body.
daughter.
Yeah,
In
and
the
the daughter, and then he starts to have feelings for the daughter,
Yeah.
and you're like, who wrote this movie? Who agreed to be in this movie? Who said this was a good idea for them to agree to be in this movie?
Yeah, I laughed my butt off through that episode. But and so now you're screwing up. In Black Klansman, Topher Grace plays David Duke. Not David Duchovny.
I was hoping.
It's a good movie. So that will do it for this week's episode of the Topher Grace.
And that's podcasting.
Yippee. So, just to recap that, we've given you now Jean Reno. We've given you Becker.
I refuse to start the Topher Grace podcast with you. That's a spinoff on your own. I will give you Becker, and I will be on Jean Reno. But
okay. Jean Reno.
Jean Reno?
Jean Reno.
Jean Reno.
Yeah.
Jean Reno.
Jean Reno.
Jean Reno.
Okay.
That's what people call me sometimes.
Okay, so let's just end this.
It's true. They do type out Reno. Always
Yeah.
just the autocorrect.
It's been about 10 minutes now that we just went on for that, so that's great.
You're welcome.
And you know what? We made it through this whole episode without talking about butt stuff, so there we go. Just brought that up, Joe.
just brought it up.
Oh, and do you hear? No, that's it. That's it. So that's going to do it for this week's episode. Of course, more information, disunplug.com. Like I've said before, you can find links to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and so much more. If you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead, subscribe, hit that bell button so you get notified anytime new videos come on. And leave us comments, leave us questions for next week's shows, and hit that thumbs up. If you're listening to this on iTunes or any other place where you can leave us feedback, make sure that you do leave us feedback and that you also subscribe us. Subscribe to us. Yeah, subscribe us. Do that. Do it. Okay, well, that's going to do it for this week's episode. We'll see you again next week with another episode. But until then, remember, we still haven't changed.